Hi, I'm Joanna Taveros. I'm a physical therapist at Ventura County Medical Center. I'm going to be demonstrating how to give a infant tummy time. We also call it prone time because we are instructed to have babies sleep on their back. A lot of babies are becoming very weak in their upper body because they have no tummy time. So I'm going to demonstrate some ways to do tummy time with a very young infant. This doll demonstrates a child, for instance, that is very low tone and has no head support. A lot of times, the number one thing in managing a baby is to get control of the head. Usually what I'll do a lot of times is I'll actually cup the baby's head and show the parents how to control the baby by holding the head and then holding the bottom. One of the ways that you can do tummy time is that you can use either a cushion or a boppy, or you can roll up a large towel and position the baby on their tummy. The way that you do it is you real gently hold the baby, bring the elbows into flexion, and sort of the baby will lean onto the elbows. Even very small babies will be able to tolerate this position. What will happen is little by little the baby will be lifting the head into extension and will also be pushing into the arms, which will help with strengthening the shoulders, the neck extension, and also into the elbows and the hands. The other thing that with very small children, about 1 or 2 months, they have a very limited distance for visual, but it's usually about 12 to 18 inches. And so a lot of times they like very bright and contrasted pictures, as well as even mirrors that they can look at the reflection, and that has to be pretty close. So I would suggest that a parent try to give their baby tummy time at least 2-3 times a day for at least 5 to 10 minutes. This is one of the positions. The other position is actually getting the baby and holding the baby in prone. So all I do is I simply support the stomach and the chest with my lower hand, and I'm supporting the upper body with my other hand. And this is a really nice position. In this position, the baby will have to also extend in order to look at things visually. You can put them a little bit upright until they get head control, and then little by little you bring them more downward into the tummy down position. This is also a great position to kind of walk around in very slowly. The baby will have more and more visual stimulation as you're walking in this position. And it's also a nice comfort position. One of the other ways to do tummy time is to use just a chair, or if I'm sitting on a chair or a couch, I can take the same position and use my body to help support the baby. Again, you want the elbows to be flexed underneath the baby so the baby has support under the head and arms. And in this position, the baby will start to extend the head as well, and will end up leaning on the elbows and being extended in this position. So this is another really nice position to get some tummy time and get a baby used to it. A lot of times parents will say that the baby does not like to be in a straight, flat surface. You get very limited time if you put a baby just on a straight, flat surface. In this position, a lot of times, this is probably the least favorite for a really small child, and a lot of times parents are worried in this position because they think that the baby cannot help their airway. In this position, though, you really want to get those elbows right underneath the child. The goal is after 2 to 3 months that they are able to tolerate this position more and more, and then eventually the child will be able to extend the head up and actually lean on the elbows. This is also a position that eventually happens before a child rolls over. Right around 3 or 4 months, a child will start to be able to kind of shift weight in this position, and that's why you really have to be careful. Do not leave a child unattended on any surface above ground. This is a time when accidents happen and a child will start to move around and weight shift in this position and can easily roll over off a bed or an area, and even a changing table. You never want to leave a child unattended over a above surface like this. Another way that you can do tummy time, and this is a kind of a limited roll, but you can get a larger roll, a larger towel, a little bit longer, and you can just put a little bit of support under the shoulders to keep the elbows flexed and to keep a little bit more support. So you can actually use this little larger towel than this, just enough to get underneath the elbows to give some support, so that that child is a little bit more able to get their head up and to keep their airway clear, and also to start strengthening the neck. So these are just some different ways to do some tummy time. It's very, very important for the strength of the upper body, the neck, and it's also very good for the spine development to be able to do this position. If your baby is in many different devices throughout the day where they are tummy up, they are not going to get that ability to strengthen the body. If they're in this position much of the day, there really is nothing to push against, and they don't have anything to strengthen the upper body. So you also get decreased strengthening, and you can even start getting some flattening of the back of the head. This position, babies will start to move their arms, but they have nothing to push against. Many of the pieces of equipment that we now have put the baby in a supine or face-up position. When they're in an extended period of time in supine, they don't begin to get the strength to do regular tummy activities, and it will actually delay some of the motor skills, such as rolling, moving on their belly, and even crawling. So my recommendation is to do tummy time when the child's awake at least 3 to 4 times a day for at least 2 to 5 minutes starting, and then increase from there.